Welcome to my CO2.
Welcome to welcome. Okay, then we can start. So first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Luis, for spending your time with us for the discussions today. So for these sessions, right, so my main objective is actually to understand more about LMS compliance, the businesses, or from the CEO, from the business owner point of view. So for the discussion today, I will partly break it into four main themes. So first thing is to understand the core business growth, like where does the growth come from, and then second thing will be the key capability for the company to be scaled, and then how the management approaches major strategies, decisions, kind of thing. So before we start, right, so let's start with some very simple and relaxed first. Like when you look back into the LMS journey, so what would you say is the one thing that has fundamentally not changed throughout the business, throughout the journeys, no matter how far or how high the business grows?
I think our principle, our mission will not change, especially the core value. I think that is a core belief that governs our decision making. Intrinsic decision making, the intrinsic value is very important. So we call our core value, we tag our core value as Fit Corp. So it represents F equal to flexibility, improvement, teamwork, and commitment, opportunity, recognition, and peak performance. So this is how we cascade down to every single employee in the group, right? This is a fundamental intrinsic value that governs our decision making. Vision statements are always reviewed from time to time. We term ourselves Green Laboratory when we start the business in 2006 and 2007. And then when we grow up to another 5-year journey, we look at the market scenario, landscape change. Then we position ourselves as the compliant catalyst, where compliant referring to all our core activity like testing, assessment, certification. And this so-called catalyst is referring to our belief on delivering the brand experience via agility, accuracy, security, simplicity, and now we add on sustainability. That's how we pivot. Then when we come back to after we list the company in SGX, we believe that we are no longer in Malaysia, and we want to expand our business in Asia Pacific as per the offer documents content. And we relook at the mission. The mission has been changed uplift to a global, local laboratory as a team, mission to grow the business. So I think to cut it short, core remain unchanged, which is our fundamental intrinsic value, corporate value, but we always revisit from time to time, every 5 years, 3 years, revisit the mission and vision of the company.
Okay, got it. Then in terms of the client base, right, for the business growth, like from the client perspective, is it the main fundamentals, the factors that create the growth in terms of the business? Is it through deeper penetration rate from the clients, or you are getting new clients for every quarter, every year?
We start from small. I remember in 20 years ago, this year marked our 20th anniversary. We started in 2006, and then now it's 2026. It's for 20 years. I remember we start this business is husband and wife business with two staff. So during that time, we have no option. We will select a low-hanging fruit. We start with feed product, feed manufacturing customer, single tier. Focus on all the testing parameters to support feed manufacturing quality control in northern region. So we have a little client, and for that we grow from horizontally grow from feed to food, and then after we feed from feed to food, we grow again to the market development to the another area called pharmaceutical. Then for pharmaceutical, we diverted into environment testing. And then for environment testing, we touch about safety and hygiene, which is doing assessment on site to make sure that the workplace is safe for human activity as a worker. And then from there, we pivot again and again. See, this is a horizontal diversification. Market penetration, like food itself, we keep on expanding the product scope. We start from probably canned food, or then we divert into seafood, fruits, and processing food, many more. Because there's a lot of food, and different food have different testing methodology, and this is how we divert into different matrix of testing. At the same time, because we are commercial laboratory, as the influence of China on board, they are no longer looking at international testing standard. They are more toward GB standard, 国标.
Yeah.
So when we do 国标, and we need to use the same metric to add on other regional or national level testing method, so that they can accept, our testing results. So this is how we grow that diversification horizontally. At the same time, market penetrations vertically. So this is always happen year to year on, and that's the reason why we need auditorium to train, and we subscribe the new method to develop and understand. We do a lot of forum, so-called brainstorming group, just to stay afloat in the current and contemporary testing requirements.
Okay. Then in terms of business point of views, right? Then for every clients that onboard on LMS systems, right, how long they will continue, or how frequent they continue the services?
Okay, good questions. I guess our main differentiator is actually the IP of our SaaS, service as per use. Our own LIM system developed in 2026, first version. Now this is version 5, and current version 5 can do a lot of things. Indeed, we push all the registration at customer point, calling for sample collection as customer point, and they also put in all the product related information in the software, which is currently is free. Then hit the button, they will send the sample to us, or we send our collector to collect the sample from them. Then from there, once we receive the sample, we actually check the quality, then we accept the sample, and you go back to the production floor testing until issuing a result, until invoicing will be followed under one single QR code, which is highly traceable. And one thing make us different is actually to increase stickiness of the client is a system. So make them easy. That's why our philosophy is agility. When they want, you check system. Accuracy, highly accurate. Because every single testing process completed, it will give you a bar of completion. 30%, 40% by process. If this testing have 5 process, it will give you average 20% on bar basis. So a client will review the call to our customer service agent that, hey, how long? Just look at the system, 75%, so you have another 25% to go on. It's like current expectation, like you're ordering Grab food, whereas the rider you can see online real time. So that's how we engage the client. Not only that, we also probably study the duration they engage in the system. On average, it's about more than 10 minutes, which is quite good. Meaning they spend daily 10 minutes on the system. Because they can do everything. Download invoice, approve COA, download COA, forward COA, and even though complaint also online. We will never park the complaint, request change, whatever requirement outside the system. Why? Because we are third party, and we don't know we want to console all the communication between the same QR code under the same system to reduce the probably dispute in future. And it happened to the dispute, look back to the system, see the narrative, see the log, and then you know what is the demand there, what's the request there, so there's no gap. So that's our experience to securitize and make the security become more prominent in the communication. So through the development of digitalization, we believe our client right now, I think more than 85% is actually recurring client, and many of them is actually follow us through since 2006 until today, except they are diverting. no longer in food business, no longer in require quality control business. But they still stick, may not be in testing, but in certification. And in verification, like carbon footprint lately, always go through to the old client. So you get their options. Today no testing, then you can go for other section that their internal needs is available right now. Yeah.
So actually, maybe allow me to add on
Yeah.
from the way that you're talking about. So actually, the current business, will you be choosing a side on whether you will continue to expand the horizontals crossover to different industrial or maybe different product sample, or actually for the particular segment, food segment, they have big room for you to go deeper since you already expand further into different country.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that in the next 5 years, kind of growth, where you see it will come from.
Yep.
Where it will come from, whether it's that continue what you specialize or actually you're looking for growth in more other areas that maybe previously you are not so focused on in that.
Okay. Under our industrial, the international player term us as TIC, stand for testing, inspection, and certification. And some lately they term it as TICA, yes, A at the back, called assurance. Mainly is actually looking at granting verification on carbon footprint or emissions, greenhouse gas. So either you call yourself TIC traditionally or TICA, we are still considered conformity assessment body under ISO standard. So the 17 series of testing requirement, 17025, certification 20021, is actually 17 series. It's actually the same thing. When we do diversification, when we do pivoting, we are looking at the same series. Rather than I go upstream, I go downstream, which is not our forte. There's a lot of thought that you go to R&D. Yeah, yes, now we can because we acquire ACC. We do some R&D. We do have I think we have signed a contract with Heng Tian Ran, Fonterra, which is profile daily manufacturer in New Zealand. Play as the partnership R&D lab in Shanghai. So a lot more can do. So this is actually a capability that injected into the group, right? Now we can offer R&D services. Yeah. However, what we good at traditionally is actually our forte is recurring business. Repeating fast, recurring business. So this is actually our competency that actually can blend together. So with that competency, with current strength, we can actually do more. Hence, when you see we are expanding to the region, first thing first, it's not to ask ourselves or ask our what do you want to do or invest in the particular country. Take example, emerging economy like Cambodia. So you may not able to push more on carbon related stuff because they may have other needs like food safety, food compliance are currently lag behind due to some political and whatever. So that probably a must to be satisfied first, rather than you push them for the looking for partner of doing carbon related. Yes, but they prefer this. But you can use carbon verification as an open gauge, and then you dive inside the inside. So same thing, you go to Hong Kong. If you're talking about food manufacturing, you're talking about E&E testing, you say you go Shenzhen. No more already. No more. When you visit the industrial park, you can see the old brand of food manufacturing there. Then you know definitely they are the first, industrial park, and you cannot see many others. So you cannot. So probably in Hong Kong, you're talking about like carbon related testing. They are more interested because they also a financial center that also looking at sustainability as a core of transforming the nation, their economics. So it depends on the country. So that's why we call ourselves at global local laboratory, is to understand the local needs, and we inject our global knowledge into the local and transform the economics.
Okay, got it. Then I guess the recent acquisitions on ankles, the Shanghai, will be the same at what you wanted to do in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. Like, what did you see the successful of these acquisitions, right? Like holding 35% in stakes in the companies, and how does this transform the LMS business overall?
Okay, From Shanghai, is not 100% the same, because Shanghai team are more looking at, for us, it's still under food range, the foods segment, where we do testing, we do certification. Now we do consultancy of helping novel food manufacturer in China get their new product to be registered in FDA US. Hence, they can sell their raw material into worldwide because it's already accepted after scrutiny, and this particular new material are fit for human consumption. So there's a different business segment. Why I think this is important for the transforming, the profile of landscape of the group right now. I believe that China and Singapore having a same needs, food security needs, or food safety. On top of food safety is security, sufficient adequacy of nutrient to serve the country. So the technology, the knowledge, and also the partnership with Fonterra, Hengtianran can also be mirrored into operation in Singapore, where I think Singapore is an R&D hub. A lot of money, budget, grant has been put in by the government to spur the R&D, and hence this R&D novel food may born in a country like in Singapore, and you need to register in for FDA or compliant into certain regional registration, so that to prove that your new food material are fit for human consumption. I give you an example in China. To extract omega-3, just to satisfy the nutrients of people, Chinese people that stay near to the coastal line, which is more wealthy, and they afford to use this. But to extract omega-3 from seafood, after extraction, the seafood cannot be treated as food anymore. It could probably become a waste. However, in the rural area, they may require this seafood as the normal nutrient, right? So the technology come into picture, come into play. The R&D shows that extractions from the omega-3 can be diverted from seafood, primarily at the food, from the plant-based. They extract from the palm to get omega-3, and then you can unlock this seafood and serve as normal hunger, satisfy hunger in the rural area. So this how food security currently, I think, the same thing that Singapore will be experiencing. So acquire ACC not only enhance our bottom line and top line, indeed their competency can be shared across the horizons of the LMS group.
So, do you have any other acquisition plans like in
Yes.
the next 3 to 5 years?
We are looking at the inspection perspective. So TIC. Currently, inspection is still lag behind. So we are developing the capability right now, getting accreditation from Malaysia standard, so that we can become an inspector. Inspector is actually a same loop of the testing requirement, where we will check the quantity and quality before allowing the goods on board to the vessel sent back to the importing country. So inspection is one of the areas that we are looking at. No announcement yet. I want to highlight.
Is that considered a challenge on that?
Yes, because we start with first ISO system is 17025 testing. Then from testing, we went into certification 17021. Then from 17021, we put in 9000 series, we put in 22,000 food safety series, food safety management system, OSA system, many more. And then from there we pivot into 17029, which is verification, validation on carbon footprint. Then now we are looking at inspection. So every time it's a challenge. I always told myself and my team, I said, today you can't, or today we can't, doesn't mean that future we cannot. Keep on doing, keep on learning, almost the same. Still under 17,000 series, so that you need to understand what to be compliant, what to be collect, what to be trained. Competency, repeatability, reproducibility, always the same technology or terminology around these verification things. So that's an area that we are looking at. Full bloom to become a full bloom TIC in the region.
Okay, noted on that. Then stepping back, right? Then we look at the ESG and also carbon-related services, right? Because nowadays, like in the case of Malaysia, the nation's wide, right, ESG, the carbon-related has become one of the requirements for especially listed company. And we started with main market listed for those above 2 billion ringgit. Then we started there, subsequently expand to whole nationwide listed company. Then we just see this ESG or carbon-related services, right, become one of the recurring fundamental services, revenue generations for LMS.
Yes, answer is definitely yes. I guess we are the first TIC local or in Singapore that really pivot into that. First thing is to get accreditation. We believe accreditation because we are conformity assessment body since 20 years ago. We cannot certify or verify a statement without accreditation. If you are not accredited, your statement, your verification report may not be accepted worldwide. That is the idea. Secondly, internal capacity building. I think it actually just nicely emerge when the resources are internally created. Number one, talk to myself first from my perspective. I'm the company perspective. We has been in environmental sampling, environmental monitoring past 15 years. We know what to calculate, we know what sample, we know what is the pollutions of the environment. So as a company level, we have a lot of scientists. To understand carbon emissions is not difficult. Scientifically, okay, so 1, scope 2, scope 3. So company competency are always there to pivot into carbon footprint calculation or measurement, data collection. Social. Couple of our C member and also small team are competent person, licensed competent person to carry out workforce safety. So when you talk about the workforce safety in terms of accident rate, this is our forte. My license and their license renew at least 4 or 5 times. Every time 3 years. So you time more than 15 years experience on professional qualification and competency that could understand, dive deep in what is workplace safety. Now, governance. Governance is a lot of area that a lot of people confuse. What do you mean by governance? And just nice, my PhD or my doctorate thesis is on corporate governance. Is to prep myself to become a good CEO compliant to corporate governance of Singapore and Malaysia. So my sampler is actually 200 over listed company main board in Malaysia, Bursa. Use them to understand how corporate governance work. So when I graduate, when this ESG, I still remember I hit the gong is year of 2022 December. The month later, okay, it's a requirement for us to do the sustainable reporting. Immediately, I raised my hand to the board. I say, I can do it. Company level, professional, competent level, and my PhD level. They say, yeah, I think you can adopt, you start. Then I read. You read all the standard GRI, DCFD, ISSB, Bursa 11 core, about 2,000 pages, then understand, oh, this is. So when we do this, it's actually take a long way. About 2023, we start to do some, after reading, we start to do some sharing. That's how I engage a lot of good partners during that time. And then we start to commercialize the product, the services. Then slowly in 2020, I remember last quarter 2024, we boarded about 20 clientele in Malaysia. Not some listed company to run the ESG related services. And he pivot, he carry out into 2025, 24, 25, and it's actually growing in a growing trend. And we use quite minimum of resources to do that. Yeah, it's not very, and also of course I'm the main core, this so-called expert in the area of delivering the training. I with the support of our own SAS to do calculation, and at the same time along the way We got accreditation of 17029 series in Singapore, SAC, Singapore Academic Council, and Standard Malaysia as well. We had dual accreditation, and that competency can actually verify the result, the claim that created the client. So it's actually in tender. So you have to do by. I think this is a huge business, and aligned with DIC plus AO, TICA or DIC. So that is an area that everyone talking about carbon. Carbon is money. Carbon is money equal to tax, equal to credit, and this is how we. I term this economy called Decarbonomics. Carbon economics and decarbonomics. So you have to decarbon. You have to keep on reducing your footprint, carbon footprint, so that you pay less tax and you create more demand. Because nobody want to buy high carbon footprint product anymore. Because I buy the high carbon footprint product will pay. You have tendency to pay higher tax in the respective country. So it motivate all the organization to decarb. So that's how I see the business. When you decarb, you need testing, you need certification, you need verification to make your claim. In Singapore, I think it's a quite advanced economic in ASEAN. It's the first ASEAN economic to govern greenwashing.
Yep.
Greenwashing under the CCI, community and competitive or something like that, the agency. They have this, I think last year. So it's already governed not to be greenwash. You cannot overclaim. To support with facts. When you support facts and evidence, you need another TIC service.
Would it be the challenge? These two country kind of standards, how should I put it? What is the challenge to fulfill both sides? Because you'll be looking at servicing both sides of this need on the ESG related. Would it be a challenge for you to newly come into this area? You
mean Malaysia and Singapore?
Yes. Both sides of customer needs.
I guess thank you for accountants. Because you look at the standard, start from GRI, TCFD, SASB, then Malaysia having 11 common, it's called it guidelines. Singapore also launched the 27 core matrices. You all cited GRI. The core is citation. It's always go back to the citation. Where is your core? GRI. Just that they probably segmentize it or minimize it, the minimum requirement, things like that. But in the end of the day, still GRI. But when compared to two years ago, the model is actually still growing. And now I think it's more clear where International Sustainability Board, ISSB, is come out a new reporting standard from the perspective of accountancy called IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard. S1, they take SASB. S2, they take climate change, TCFD, they console. When they console, you make the standard mean firmer. Now it's actually, initially, a lot of people cited GRI. GRI is about 70%, at least 75% voluntary reporting standard that adopted in worldwide. But now I think a lot of people are pivoting from GRI into ISRS adoption. So giving an example like LMS, we was a first, I think, I would say a top 1%, migrating from GRI to SASB, ISSB last year. Our sustainability report was crafted by me. This is the third version. We are fully adopted S1 and S2 even though we know that it's already delayed. I think after we launched this book, SPF deferred it for 3 years reporting, but I think this is the future. You do it now and do it future is the same thing, man. So the two narrative, like what you say, 2 billion. In Singapore also talking about the same thing, large company, large unlisted company, you need to do sustained reporting. So I went to China. They also never defer because they want to create the differentiator compared to another economics. So they push ESG so hard in China. So in the end of the day, I think it's the same thing. Someone already harmonized certain good reporting standard. You make compliance easier. I believe now it's more stabilized in terms of reporting standard. and framework, and easy for a doctor to select whether you still want to follow GRI, which is getting a lot, and or you are slowly pivoting into migrating into IS-based requirement. Still sustainability. What makes difference is that GRI focus on all the stakeholder. Employee, vendor, customer, NGO, regulator, many more, or even though community. But for GRIs, for IFRS, simple. They focus on investor. So you see the accountant sitting, and they align financial standard for the annual report, align with sustainable report. So for me, it's easier. Yeah.
Then in terms of workloads, right, for this kind of exercise to complete, right, roughly how long would it take? And how many like investment or capacities that you need to provide to the company? Yeah.
You mean for ESG related sustainability?
Yes, for ESG related.
For resource-wise, I think mainly we work on 2 feet. Yeah. First is market access. So I'm more toward that. Market access means we are looking at listen to the client needs and what do they want. Is it they have difficulty to get data collection, or they don't understand scope 1, scope 2, or scope 3, or they feel difficult to actually calculate. That is actually market access information. And standard which is available, like what I say, the reporting structure and reporting framework. So that's more market access. We develop that on one hand. On the other hand, compliant. Because beginning in end in mind, you do calculation, you make claim, you need to be verified. Else, you have tendency of greenwashing. So that will be another important element that we go along. That was actually under another division called certification are doing toward compliant, like SAC and Standard Malaysia, and we're looking at other nations. And on the market access one, we listen, we come up product that can fit most in the company right now. So we don't put too much resources because all the resources is here. In terms of talent, they are scientists. They know E. In terms of safety, I think we have quite numberless of very experienced hygienists that can understand. Then corporate governance, I just need to actually make sure that all the elements meeting the standard will do. So I think we have all these on our plate. So we quickly pivot into that, tap the opportunity. And on IT side, we are quite advanced stage to actually pivot our current SaaS into a carbon counter. We call it carbon counter. We launched this program, training using software, inject data, and third-party verification in a later state, begin in and in my approach. So we solve all the gaps and consultancy, training, software calculation, and verification into one go. That's how we pivot in these 2-3 years. And we see this getting demanding, and they are repeating, asking for verification, subscribe the system again to do. So it's actually repeated business.
Yep. Then normally, like for how long does the process take to complete?
Oh, how long the process take to complete? It depends on how well you want to cover the spectrum, E, S, or G. If E and S, or E itself emission, the training will last 2 days. Training today on site, and then data coming in from their table. Then we coach them, we teach them, train them how to inject the right data into the system. We are from the SaaS perspective to train them. Then make sure that they upload correct evidence for verification. That one verification will take about probably 2 weeks to log into the system and check the data before granting the verification. E, about 4, maybe you're talking about 2 weeks. S and G is another division, another area that same training we will go through, understand their risk profile, study, look at their vision. Some of the listed core mission are still do not have element of sustainability inside there. So we are talking about, how do you inject sustainability statement into the current vision and mission? Yeah, and not only that, we look at the reporting structure, the sustainable reporting structure, do risk profiling inside out, outside in for GRI, financial impact for the ISRS. You take about 2 days to this training, then report writing. So the data collection for ES is also probably 2 weeks to about a month, depend on the complexity. Report writing is about a month time. We console the E, data collection, S and G. E is on software, easy. And S and G will be on the probably offline. Then from there, we get all the data into the report writing. Then it will be 3 different phases. And the whole 3 different phases probably will take about about 2 to 3 months to complete.
2 to 3 months.
Then some of the requirement is just to, okay, I don't want, just help me to improve the writing of SR is about a month time. So it's a month time to write a compliant and without the data collections. So the first one, 3 months, come with verification. The second one, just report writing, we cannot verify because we have no say in the data collection. I don't know how accurate that. Just helping you to improve or rephrase in according to SGX requirement or Bursa requirement. Yeah, close the gap basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Then in terms of the business segments, right, the revenue segment, currently the testing is still the main revenue stream for the companies. Then how would you plan to like improve the other segment like inspections, certifications, assurance? Like what is the company preparing to do like over the 5 to 10 years? And what did you see? Would you see a balanced segregations between the revenue stream?
I think we look at micro level. In micro level testing, we also have a lot of different business segments. Now, this testing, it takes about at least 5 years or 10 years to make it balanced. We are not too depending on food. At the same time, we also having quite big chunk of the testing from medical device. So we make it balanced. That's how we counter the economic uncertainties. So this is micro level. Or macro level, different division T, I, C, and A. We see A develop quite fast, very rapid. At the same time, certification also picking up. Once we integrate with the ACC, I'm expecting the landscape change of my CO2 certifications business will inject play a higher role because of ACC certification services. At the same time, the organic growth in the assurance business are also getting traction, and they will pull the revenue of SaaS along the way. So this is how we put it up. For inspection wise, still remain challenge because we are still doing accreditation. Without accreditation, we cannot get the client in. So we need to have accreditation accredited, then we only into it. For me to indeed get the inspection diversity business segment approved by the board, we do the preliminary study injected into the business, which is currently available also through China partnership, inspection. So I can only declare until here. I cannot mention much on inspection perspective. So I guess on horizon Y, we are growing. For our core, which is 94-95%, our business strategy is to develop macro different area so that we can counter the economic uncertainty. At the same time, on macro level, we also push up the other division growth on the certification and also assurance and inspection as well.
Then, I think from my side, yes. Yeah, for my side, it's probably
Thank you.
At this stage already.
Yeah.
And anything else? I think we should. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So so thank you so much for Dr. Louis for your time today. So from today's discussion, we understand how you plan in terms of the business in futures, in the past, and what is the business segment is going through. I guess that would give us a lot more information for what we understand from the book itself.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
And personally, I appreciate for these sessions because I got the chance to understand better about the business rather from reading the annual reports and the website.
Yeah.
Again, this is more interactive and more humans interactive that will help a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
谢谢.
You share
So
a lot.
actually, yeah, we should also start preparing on all this already.
I think she understands quite numbers of our. This is all our SASA.
Yes.
Izen is more on carbon accounting or dot control for ISO. ISIN is actually on trending. Yeah, it's a free software.
So actually all these SaaS is more for like monitoring, help them to improve along the way, or in fact, I don't know, seems like your laboratory is more for tell you the result. Because to me, just purely delivery result, the kind of interactions is a bit quite minimal.
So this is our journey of productivity. You can see per head count after fully digitalized, right? 84, 100, 120, 126, 140, 149 until last year. Last year is 195. So the human headcount growth are suppressed, controlled, but the productivity, the output, throughput are increased. So I think we benefit this. We also want our client to be benefited. Because for me, just to plug in information to them, it's not difficult. Hence, when you digitalize, you can do a lot of differentiator. Like for example, we are the first lab in the, I would say ASEAN probably, to launch carbon footprint. Every cert have carbon footprint. And different testing, different carbon footprint. If there's no digitalization, you cannot do that. You can never have that, So this is, I think, very important for being a responsible partnership with the client, so that I can benefit you as well. This will be how we create this sub-product.
So far, the feedback from the client is good in a way that is really benefit from your understanding from there, and also you are the one who test it out and do it.
Digitalization journey is not easy. It's a very bumpy journey so far. Okay, and why we have so many versions? Every time I say version 1, version 2, version, so it just give a price tax. 吵吵闹8千300千 but we did experience failure. I remember during that time we launched the very first initiative to do the eCOA, online COA, because I don't want to print stamp anymore. Stamp, dispatch, very time consuming and not guaranteed. I sent already, he said 没有收到. Have to resend it again. The printing cost is so high and it's my cost. Then I cannot add into their. So I said launch eCOA. The first launch, I struggled for 2 weeks, hold the line. But I decided to give up because the market is not ready.
So actually a lot of them object.
Yes, not ready. Infrastructure is not ready. It's 3G. During the time, it's 3G.
Oh, okay.
So what? Sending the file, sending the report take a lot of time.
Take a lot of time, download. Then phone is not smartphone, it's semi-smartphone, Symbian. During that time.
And during that time, people are not ready yet.
iPhone are super expensive for super rich. Android are not born yet. So when the infrastructure is not ready, you push through also 半途而废, so I hold back. But I never give up. So in version 4, when we have the internal CTO, I say first thing, so what's my project? Digitalization. What's the deliverable? eCOA. Again, try. That time different already. Cost 4G. Highly available Android phone. Everyone swap 手机, except online. And the online purchase like Lazada or Taobao are so popular. And not only that, I think I want to thank AAsia as well. It's the only company that pushed through all this. You want cheap feel, buy, print yourself, check in yourself. So I push the cost to you. Then I can share, win-win. So now when we launch, also have facing some upside. Then we told them very simple, hey, you buy ticket, buy. You buy AAsia, buy. You print or not, print. And you download or not, and same thing. So ours also same. So want to shift their right hand to left hand by not receiving the COA, it take a long time. And not only that, internal, impatient, they don't believe this can be done. So on one hand, as a CEO, I face internal pressure. On the other hand, I face customization demand or request. And yeah, we need to juggle. Then luckily we succeed. So we are quite advanced that thing, and then we put a lot of improvement. So once they accept, they no longer send. My printing cost cut down already. My sliver to stick the stamp also cut down. And I cut out the envelope printing, I cut out the head, I cut out a lot. So that's first phase. I think this is what year? Yeah, 2016, 10 years ago. You see the uptrend. Then slowly we improve the module from one by one, inject security inside, QR code traceability, and also thanks to this COVID. A lot of people may not know QR code can scan one before COVID. Some misappropriation happened. I was interviewed by a police officer for two hours. He said, you sell certificate? I said, I don't. So after the 2 hours, I come out, I say to my CTO, no, I don't want to do that. Because in the end of the day, there's no secure. So inject QR code is one way. So QR code will be injected for traceability. You cannot amend. Now proprietary officer no longer call us. Just scan the QR code and come out a different. You alter, you amend, someone given. So easy. So that is a security features. First phase, then we launch again because differentiator. Then carbon footprint launch again. And a lot more. Then now we launch, actually we push it to the light version, which is a client CRM, so that the client can register themselves, send sample themselves, download invoice, make complaints, request the quotation, everything on site. And not even when you send more sample, I give you trend. We study the trend. It's a big data for us. Trend of this testing, how much. Then they know, it's within my spec. So there's freeware called ISIN. ISIN is a freeware that we actually UI at the client side to know every single parameter trend. Upper control, lower control, upper warning, lower warning. That is already available in every. Then they can actually get this trend. Then we use big data to calculate their accuracy, and then they can use QR code and afflict into the product that clients can.
Do you see this SaaS improved process also called what you want to do in SaaS digitalized formats in the industry, in your industry? Have you, how should I put it, you grade yourself, where is the progress now? Is it like 50% completed? Do you see where is the end of one day that how the industry will adopt the whole digitalizations?
Okay, good questions. I guess again in micro level or organization level, almost all the processes was digitalized already. The last unsolved puzzle, we only call that black box project. It's already unsolved. It already launched 3 years ago. Okay, and when internally digitalization transformation full bloom, then you try to benefit the macro level, client level, supplier level. But now we focus on client level because it's a revenue stream. We want to give them different experience on getting business with the belief of accuracy, agility, blah blah blah. So for that, it's not easy because client maybe they still have I pay you, you do Yeah, correct. I pay you $10, you do a $10 job for me. But in my perspective, I want to maintain $10 for 10 years. If I'm maintaining $10 for 10 years without increasing your fees, we need to share some costs. Or I need to improve my internal process so that you can actually benefit without sustaining the cost. So in the end, it's actually looking at how to launch changes. So the adoptions of all these client-related is not 100% yet. Even though we already designed a track for F1 formula, they are still some of them still driving kanjia. Some of them still want you to send sample, knock the door, print. So lots of this kind we 谢谢啦，做不到了 cannot. So I say probably next door, next supplier that probably can meet without digitalization. So we want to serve those F1 and also IT related, believer, so that we can actually go together because we are spending time to study digitalization. When you do the digitalization complete, they never use. It's a waste of time. Like just now I said tier 1, tier 2. Tier 1 now is about, on average, 3 sites is about 40%. So the other 60%, can we achieve 100%? The answer is no. Why? 40% is target those routine tester. If I can solve my routine, I solve 80% already. The remaining 20% is one-off tester. One-off 他不会跟你做的. What should I? One-off. If your routine everything, 好用啊. When this guy left this company, he joined B company, they will convince the B company to use my system. That's why the stickiness is there. As far as concerned, your accuracy must be there. You highly inaccurate. HIV positive. Sorry bro, 怕错 type salah. So you cannot retain customer. So in the end, I think it's a win-win two flow. So 一厢情愿, I would say top-down approach digitalization. Bottom up still remain time because not everyone as complex, as complicated like us. But someone need to be an innovator, start from to show that we can do in this side of the thing. So when this technology launch, not most, like for example, I tell you the iZen. iZen first version is to replace consultancy. We want to cut through consultancy of getting ISO complete. We come in with the training, things like that. But the adoption of the thought of ISO certification or getting a certified company is through consultancy. About a year, hard copy documentation. They still believe in this way. So when you say digitize, 可以做咩? They believe because they seek one. Because I benchmark to my previous company, which is also ISO, same methodology. Now I bring this idea to this company, yes, same methodology, but just what changed is actually a consultant change, A to B. That's it. But the methodology will change. It's very time consuming, a lot of headache, and we undergone this because we maintain more than 5 ISO systems. 3 testing, 1 certification, 2 or 6. Wow, you use paper, you die. 很难的 brother. So we know what's a hiccup. But after this fail, we never give up. But we saw another opportunity is to inject carbon counting inside. Now they sell like hotcake. So opportunity also give to those ready. So when you see ready, hey, like you can sell like hotcake. Every time we do training, 1 copy. Next year you subscribe suddenly, you suddenly, I can give a refreshment charge you. So that's how I turn the repeated. So a lot of people ask me, hey, how do you do EIG? There's no mandatory. I think mandatory not important for me. It's how you create a model of decarbonomics. The carbon economy can stir by itself due to the value created into the system. They will pay you. So we'll make significant announcement later on, I think inspection, or I think immediately is a full half-year result, full 1-year result, followed by probably inspection and another decarbonomics business model that I would like to make. And I believe testing, the decarbonomic will be the driver for all the testing, inspection, certification tag along. Everything are talking about reduction of carbon footprint.
A lot of things need to be still in pipeline to do. So that's why I say story to tell. Let the investor keep on having new things to understand.
I always told my investor or told my clientele, a lot of people may not like in Singapore, especially Singapore, surprised,
Because to the extent this is quite niche area, we only see the end result, never see the process.
The auditor, when they gauge me out, Malaysians Singapore, okay, but you are Philippines in Singapore, listed company, they come and with all the question marks. But when they ask the sample, then we show them the experience of doing. They shock, why you have so many in Malaysia? I say, Malaysian entrepreneur 很惨的, no support, have to focus. Have to find our own differentiator. But we need to create value for them. They happily now, after knowing their emission intensity, company level, they unlock all the MNC to give them business. Because your current supplier still lay back. 钱没有不用紧。 But now this guy said, 我有啊, I should buy for you ah.
It's always the certificate that when everyone don't have and you just need
Correct.
to have a bit,
Correct.
you're outstanding.
Yeah, first mover advantage ma. So this is all my innovator first mover advantages. 70 cases right now, including listed company.
So actually do help them to engage all these MNC on bigger area type of business.
Yep. So this is what first level engagement. But of course, this business is pretty new and we have experience. So I guess if you compare, you ask me why we digitalize and why we compete in such a manner, got no choice. Our main competitors is all listed company, exit at least 150 years old, 1,000 times or 10,000 times size compared to market cap. Us footprint more than 200 countries, employed 50,000 staff. We are chicken feed for them. They are still calling me, you want to sell? I said, listed already. Never mind, I release you. They want footprint. They want my technologies. They don't have that kind of technology yet because we start from small ma. So when you start from big, start digitalization, 做不到的. Very difficult because you have a lot of workload. 习惯了. You want to change, difficult. But we are different. We start from 4 in the right move, then we move up. Now it's just to convene. Now I think Chinese is expecting we do localize. I told them very simple. We cannot give them. We must internalize. You cannot host outside 翻墙 get caught 啦，蛮小笑啊。Cannot. You have to 阿里云、腾讯 that's it. Then you internalize. Then you have to change it to Chinese. That's what we are doing right now. Else you should have like my prismatic. They already can log in. Easy because Malaysians there's no compliance. You should let you log in to see everything. If you don't have this policy, download and change to your policy. This easy. All the policy, all the memo, all the history is tracked in my suite. So easy for me to do integration. Chinese need a little bit time because when we start the business, it's Malaysia context. When you roll out, my wife asked me why you spend so much in IT. 1 server 300,000, 2 servers 600,000, and monthly maintenance feeding the server. Burn rate about $500,000 a year for putting up 2 servers. I say I want to list the company. I want to be a global player. So you need this infrastructure. Then luckily I did it. Else cannot justify why I hire so many programmers and do all this.
Yeah, and all this is not the main one, but it makes sense. I mean, for the digital, at least I saw it from this, industrial, your TIS industry. Digital still have room to complete.